Hi, hello. I'm gonna actually move you this way a little bit here. I have a canvas. Today what we are going to do is a video I've done before, which is following a Bob Ross tutorial because, you know, I'm trendy and I don't have an original thought, much less an original idea. But also the last time I followed a Bob Ross tutorial was back when I was trying to do the art channel. And the video was fine, but the painting was... it was what it was. Okay. Well, this looks like dog poop. Do I think I can do better? No. Let me tell you why. I have not painted in a hot minute. Like the last paintings I've done were with Posca pens, which is a whole different ballpark than brushes. I'll also say most of those I had a very clear reference or I was downright tracing from photos I took. Don't come at me. I don't remember off the top of my head when the last time I actually painted with a paintbrush in my hand was, much less with acrylic on canvas, which I know Bob Ross paints with oil, but we're not dealing with that today. So the tutorial I am going to attempt to follow is season 14, episode 1. It is called Distant Mountains. Now, I have not watched this all the way to the end, so I do not know what this painting is going to look like at the end. I just know that we are in a vertical orientation, and I know that we are going to start with some blue. So let me just pop some blue on my palette and we'll get started. I do not think that I have the exact colors that Bob Ross asks for, but I don't think my painting would turn out exactly like his, even if it was, so, you know, we're just gonna go with some happy accidents today. So, we cover a lot of the canvas with this blue, so I'm going in with a 3-inch brush, because that was the size I have. I have like teeny tiny brushes, or this massive 3-inch brush. So we're just gonna go in with this. We're just gonna start doing this. So I know a big part of Bob Ross is getting that brush stroke pattern, and that is a thing that I struggle with. It's like an X pattern, and I can kind of do it for a minute and then I just sort of drop off. I'm just gonna kind of dampen my brush and see if that helps at all, since we are working on a not very absorbent backdrop. I think that will give us a little bit of a watercolory effect, which I'm here for. So the other issue that I have, that dear old Bob does not have, I am not working on a layer of liquid white, which is what he always tells you to do. Because I don't have liquid white. Also, I'm working with acrylic, which is a little bit of a different vibe. So I've wet my brush, so watering this down. I don't love the streaks, but I do think that they will blend out over time. But I think it will also give this whole thing a watercolor vibe. It's what I'm telling myself to make me not feel so bad for being not good at what I'm doing. Because there are no mistakes, there are only happy accidents. Okay, and then he also kind of came down to the bottom. He added a little bit of blue, not blue, he added a little bit of green. And we're just gonna bring that down here. And we're just gonna kind of think this is gonna be the water. Yeah, I don't know, we're just gonna bring that up to meet the sky. If that's wrong, you know what, oh well, no mistakes, happy accidents. I kind of like the dripping effect, honestly. Then I'm gonna take some titanium white and just kind of brush that onto a feather brush. And then we're just gonna put a happy little cloud there. And we're just kind of going in little circles. That looks like a white hot dog. Hang on. Let's floof this out a little. How is he holding this? Corner of the brush. That makes more sense. Okay, so we use the corner of the brush. We're kind of holding it straight on. That gives me a lot more control. Okay. Okay, so he kind of takes his off of the canvas. So we're gonna follow his lead. Little circles. Okay, I think when I started this cloud, I was afraid of putting pressure into the brush because like it's a fan brush, so shouldn't it like fan out? But no, adding the pressure is helpful. That's good to know. I am learning. I have to decide where things live in my world. I can't even decide what I want to have for dinner, Mr. Bob Ross. So you're asking me to make big decisions as a person who can't even function. Okay. We might let that dry and kind of come back to it and pop some more lights in the tops there because I'm still figuring this out, but we're adding another cloud over here. We're making that decision. Okay, put that pressure down. Make the circles. Okay. This is looking like something. Okay, I want to maybe add another layer to the cloud. I'm gonna make a decision and go kind of off from what Bob's telling me to do. I'm gonna use kind of the flat of the brush and I'm just gonna boop some highlights in there because it's looking a little flat. I'm just gonna boop. I really like how this cloud turned out actually. This one, she's okay, but she's my favorite. I feel like I shouldn't have gone off script because that is when things go wrong. But it's my world. We're gonna call it good. You know, clouds are sisters, not twins. We're gonna move on. We go back to this brush and we're just gonna blend the bottoms. Cinnamon, hi! We're just gonna blend the bottom out. That brings it way down. Wowza. This wouldn't be an issue if I used a fresh canvas, but because it's not a fresh canvas and there's no grip and the paint underneath was not fully dry before I added the clouds, I'm starting to get a peek through of that spray paint layer. So I'm just going to add the teeniest, tiniest bit of my paint. We're just gonna hope for the best. I'm just gonna kind of brush it upward and then kind of gentle circles. You know what? I think I can fix this. Give me a minute. Okay, so she's not perfect, but as Bob has said, this is my world. I'm okay with it. We're gonna move on. Okay, so he is now mixing some blue, some brown, some black. It's a lot of black. And some green. And grab a little bit more blue because the blue is a little bit weaker than these other colors. And we're just gonna mix them together, I guess, till we get whatever color this is. It's very heavy on the green, honestly. Let's pop some more brown in there. Okay, so this is where we're making decisions. We're adding a mountain, and this is the part where things went wrong for me last time. I say as though anything went right for me last time. So we're gonna go right here, and he kind of goes up and then drags it down. Up and drag it. Okay.
Right there. With a firm pressure. Push that paint right into the fabric.
Okay. So we're adding a little bit more. And let me just put my paint everywhere. So a little bit more right here. Things that I like about it as I'm going. I'm kind of finding things about the process that are making sense and things that aren't. So that maybe even if this painting doesn't turn out good, it can at least be a positive learning experience. Something that I can kind of reflect on and be able to say like, yes, this was worth my time. Okay, so my camera stopped recording at some point in this, but basically I just added the trees in and then I did a quick wash across, which was supposed to give more of a reflection, but really just kind of wash it down. So I'm just gonna kind of pop some splooshes down. Okay, so this is where I give my fan brush the chance to redeem itself. I'm going to go in with, I have yellow and green, basically just gonna loop on both, loop-dee, loop-dee, so that both sides of my brush are loaded with color. And then we're basically just gonna try to build in some grass back here. Okay, so we are adding evergreen trees. So we're gonna start right there. Right there. That's my commitment. Okay. We're just gonna kind of at the very least, you cannot say that this painting will not be unique, which is cool. So I did not leave quite as much water as Bob did, but you know, it's my world. Let's continue. The yellow. We're basically just gonna be making little bushes. I'm nervous. He said, as long as you kind of just tap, just light, gentle tapping. Okay. 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 So now we're working on kind of a path, right around here, I think. That's something. Okay. So the next thing I'm gonna do is basically add the highlights to this. It's basically kind of making it look like a stone-ish path. But before I do that, I'm going to actually sort of mush down the yellow in the background and build this right here up a little bit more. Basically because right now, all of this looks really flat and I don't like that. So I'm gonna play with it and then we'll come back. So I've got my path cleaned up a little bit. I've added the yellow a little bit more along the path. And now we're going to apparently add another little happy tree bush back here. So I'm gonna take this brush, kind of clean it off a little bit. Go back in with that kind of yellowy green color from way earlier. And just make a little bush. So we are on to doing basically just bushes. So I'm gonna do pretty much the same technique that I did for the grass back here, where I basically have yellow on one side and green on the other. And that should, in theory, give me some distinction. This might be where I messed this whole thing up, but I am drying off my big brush. I'm just gonna very lightly swoop. Clean it off, swoop. Clean it off, swoop. Yes. I'm just gonna kind of blend the layers into each other just a little bit more. So that they're not quite so harsh. Okay, that is decent-ish. I think I'm gonna work on this background a little bit more off camera because I'm not loving it. Over here is nice and green and pretty, and this is brown and murky. But I think I have an idea of what to do now. Gonna check in with Bob real quick. Gonna work on the background. I don't think that there's much else left because there's only a couple minutes left of the tutorial. So this is where we're at right now. I'm gonna finish her up and then we'll do a reveal and we'll talk about it. So we'll be back. Okay. let's talk about this. First of all, I would like to apologize for all of my negative commentary towards the beginning of this video. I would just like to point out that when you are up close to this painting, nothing looks good. Especially when you're in the process of it. It is definitely a trust the process sort of painting when you are 2 inches away from the canvas. I think it's one of those issues where it looks a lot better from far away. Because like looking into the viewfinder, it looks like I'm looking at a photo, which is weird. Up close, especially while I was in the process of doing this whole thing, I'm like, none of this looks good. None of this looks real. Watching the Bob Ross tutorial, 1, the camera quality is low because it's old. 2, Bob Ross has a lot more experience than I do. And 3, we're looking at it much further away. And 4, it's Bob Ross doing it, not me. So I'm going to naturally be a lot more self-critical immediately because it's me. There are a few kind of wonky things about this because there were layers of paint underneath this. So there's this like weird straight line that runs through it. It's kind of weird, but it's fine. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some like grass and stuff on here because I spray painted this outside and didn't care. I off camera added some more blue up here just to make it a little bit more opaque, but I left it a little bit patchy intentionally so that still kind of looked cloudy. I don't know what else to say. I'm really happy with this. It makes me excited to paint more, which is interesting. It definitely turned out a lot better than my first attempt. And it makes me want to try another one. So let me know in the comments below if you want me to try another painting. Should I follow Bob Ross tutorials more? Should I do some other tutorials more? Should I silence my phone before I record? Probably. Let me know in the comments down below while you're let me know down in the comments below while you're down there. Like this video and subscribe to my channel because I post every Wednesday. It's whatever Wednesday. And I will see you next week. Okay, bye! Don't eat the canvas, please. Thank you. Can you say bye, Cinnamon? Oh, bye! We actually did this, but I prefer this one. I did a couple weeks ago. I like it. I'm not a big canvas person, especially not when it's a big canvas. So. I'm just gonna leave this here as proof that I can do the paint thing, okay?